Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome back to Shrigleytube TV. I hope you're all feeling good and happy that, well, not everybody of course, but I'm really happy that Christmas, New Year, all that, it's great for the kids, but it's behind us now. We've got 3 months to get our heads down. The sun comes out, the stock car season starts, we can go and watch the stock cars, we can go and race the Hillman if we can afford it, and all the good things in life start to happen. So, and the sun comes out as well, hopefully, and all these dark nights, dark afternoons disappear. So I hope you're all doing okay. I hope you've made some good New Year's resolutions. Mine is to get down to 75 kilograms. I was 94 this time last year. I got down to 79 was my best, but then I've gone a bit the wrong way with Christmas and everything, but I'm going to try again now to get down to 75. So that's my target, and then obviously I just keep thinking every kilogram is like half a horsepower or something, so make the Hillman go faster. Anyway, what we're going to do tonight is we're just going to do a few comments. Well, we're going to do all the comments that have been outstanding, because I type like this, and it just takes forever to do a reply. So I thought I'd do it verbally. I'll turn the camera around now, and we'll try and get through as many as we can, if not all of them, before we run out of space on the camera. Right. Okay, let's do some of these comments. Just looking now, we just got one 6 minutes ago from Haven View, which is my pal Stephen, who invited me around to meet and talk to the lovely Pat. She was absolutely amazing, wasn't she? Sharp as anything, sharper than me, which doesn't take much, but bearing in mind she's quite an elderly lady, to say the least. So well done, Pat, that was brilliant. Great to see you, Andy. Bugsy is up for an Oscar. That's the rabbit, the house rabbit that we saw having a wander around halfway through the interview. James Mackenzie, why is the Carter plate on back to front? Well, I thought you were cracking up, James, but I did actually look at the video and I realised that you were correct. It is on back to front, and the reason for this is because the engine was out of a space frame car, so sometimes you had to look at the engine through the back window on like a coupe style car, so that's why the Carter badge was on back to front. Normally you are correct, they are on the other way, because on an imp you lift the boot lid up and look in from the back, whereas the Stiletto, they used to look through the back window to see the engine. So, and that's James Mackenzie, which is actually my mate Jimmy Mack, the ex-Hillman Imp HSCC racing driver. And then we've got PJ Imp 1040 1 hour ago. Happy New Year. A brilliant trilogy, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Harmonian, I can't pronounce that, Granger. Correctedness of everything too. The reference to Connor, we've been through, I've read this. First alloy engine credited to Benz in 1901. They obviously clocked onto what a good engine the Imp was. And then we've got another one from Granger. The correctedness of everything. I've heard that Ian had worked for ERA, but I thought it unlikely that as their racing cars were produced pre-war. Now apparently he did a lot of work with ERA, and I'm only going off what I've been told, like second hand, but when ERA was later on, after it ceased building race cars, it became a research and development company, and that's when he did most of his work. And I believe that's when he got involved with Coventry Climax and developed the deep head with Coventry Climax and the Roots competition department to produce the deep angle heads. So brilliant, thanks for that. Kin, brilliant video. Thank you very much, Steve C. Mason. I'm glad you enjoyed it, that's great. I enjoyed it too. Brilliant set of 3 videos, what a way to end the year. Thanks so much for sharing all this as well. No worries, thank you, Graham. That's glad you enjoyed it. Right, there has been some Carter engines here in Sweden in ice racing. This is from Christian Johnson. Are there anyone from Sweden? Anyone from Sweden? I think there's quite a few Swedish ice racers out there with Hillmans to get good traction, obviously, having the engine over the back. And this is Gerald Stanley. This is the chap I referenced to in the video regarding the alternator bracket. And I enjoyed hearing the history of Ian's life. It was wonderful to see Pat. Obviously, he remembers Pat from years ago. Sharp as ever, definitely. The alternator bracket story is true. My first meeting with Ian, I was 17, and Ian's attention to detail and thoroughness on something as minor as a bracket even left a strong impression on me. Just like you say, Andy, Ian analysed the failure mode to understand root cause and then engineered reinforcements on the bracket prevent failure and repeating. Yeah, everything. No rock is left unturned where Ian Carter was concerned. They didn't have the same material strengths as we have now, so they have to think about things a bit more. Right, Volvo Pete, thanks for that, by the way, Gerald. Right, Happy New Year, Andy, thank you. Happy New Year to you too. Have a great year. Interview with Mrs. Carter was wicked. It would be brilliant if you could do more of these types of things. Well, actually, I have made a plan. I've said to myself, I'm going to get Bob Jones from B&J Race Engines. I'm going to pin him down and I'm going to get him on an interview. And it's going to be hard because he doesn't like talking, especially in front of a camera, but I think he'd be really good. He's done lots and lots, but he's not a singer and shouter. Everything's kept under wraps with Bob. But I think we might be able to get some information out of him with a big packet of chocolate biscuits. So I'll work on that in the new year or this next week or something. Christian Johnson, this will be interesting. Yep, hopefully it will be. KW87161, brilliant, thank you. Phil Dem 414, you should get an endoscope, even a cheap one. I have had one, Phil, and I broke it, so luckily the imp's not too hard to take apart. You know, we can have the head off. I mean, if you had something really complicated, it'd be brilliant. You could see what was going on, but yeah, something for the future maybe. RTC 057, wow, one of your best videos today. Oh, wonderful, thank you. Felt a bit awkward on how you described the build reference as grit. Yeah, anyway, you achieved what you wanted. The main thing, loved the imp mini. The imp on the mini. The mini on the mini imp engine on the mini gearbox was amazing. Ian Carter's finest work. And yeah, considering that these developments without CAD or other digital technologies, it just highlights the skills they've had even more. Thanks for another great video. Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you too, RTC. Yeah, I mean, to think that all that was done probably on bits of paper and yeah, oh no, what's happened here? Oh God, have I broke it? Right, I'll just pause this while I find out what's happened. I pressed it. Right, sorry about that, I'm back with you now. I must have pressed a button or done something, it all went funny on me. Anyway, so considering chaps did these developments without CAD, other digital technologies, just highlights the skills they had even more. Absolutely agreed. The people that did all this back in the day, amazing, and they had to, you know, probably draw things on a sketch pad and then have it drawn properly and then make dice, have things cast and then get a machine. Oh, it's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, very clever people around back in the day, and there's some clever people around now, but I doubt there's the same amount of clever people around that have got the same range of skills as someone like Ian Carter. Anyway, moving on, V6 Pulsar. I love the way Ian Carter stamped the thread type in the size besides each hole in the block. Absolute attention to detail. Great videos. Definitely top of my watch list. Oh, brilliant. All the best for the new year. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the videos and all the best to you too, V6 Pulsar. Yeah, he's no doubt been, I wouldn't like to say because I never met him, but I imagine he was probably a control freak and was scared to death of someone trying to put the wrong size thread inside one of his lovely threaded holes. So he probably put the stamp there to prevent someone else from blundering. Mark 1 Cortina Tony 395, brilliant free part. I'd love to see Ian C's work. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, Tony, thank you. Yeah, Ian's work, awesome, beautiful stuff, Andy. Happy New Year, buddy. That's from Paul Whitman, thank you. Tim Morgan, this is the lad from the Imp Club, I know him. Ian Carter's work was incredible. Thanks, Andy, for these videos, and Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you too, Tim, and the family. And I look forward to seeing you at National Weekend. Right, Avo Tarvaz 21057. Happy New Year, mate. Thanks for all the vids. That last engine, the Hillman on the mini gearbox. How many of those were made? What cars did they go? Reliant in the hill climb cars or more? Really interesting. Thanks again. You're very welcome, Avatars. Apparently Ian had 5 of them cast and 5 cranks made, and they were all finished off by, I think he finished like 3 of them, and 2 of them were finished off by other people that just requested to buy block and cranks. That one was out of a hill climb car, quite a special hill climb car. I will get more information on it when the chap comes back to pick the crankshaft up after we've straightened it and got it ground. So yeah, I'll follow that up for you, but thanks for the comment. Gavin some 6266, best New Year's Eve ever watching your channel. Oh great, well I'm glad you enjoyed it, that's brilliant. Happy New Year to you. All the best for 24. Keep the videos coming. Alan Scott, that's my mate Alan from Harewood Hill Climb. If you remember the Harewood Hill Climb video, he was there with his mini-based fiberglass flying machine. So I look forward to seeing Alan next year at Harewood. I'm definitely going to go back there again. That was a cracking hill climb. And next we've got Ratchan Matt 4080. Probably should have put some gearbox oil in the pump. I guess it has drained over the 40 years. Yeah, I did actually put some assembly lube in the pump. I don't know why it took so long. I think the fact the battery was flat and it was going so slowly. Normally they prime up in like 10 seconds. So yeah, I think a bit of been off and the workshop's been shut, so the battery gone flat on the dyno. But we'll make sure it's charged for next time. Chevy Imp, the Ian Carter trilogy, stunning. Happy New Year. Thank you, Chevy Imp. Yep. I'm sure I know some of these people, but I have no idea what their actual name is. So if I do know you, I'm sorry if I'm not like calling you by your first name, because I just, you know, I've just got a feeling some of these repeat people, I know them. Anyway, Martin Hatchie, excellent videos. Keep them coming in 24. I certainly will. No problem there. Oh, it's going again. It jammed up then. Happy New Year. Oh, yep, it's jammed. Why can't we go any further? Oh, is this all the videos? Right, I'm with it now. Right. Eric Klaus, reply, thumbs up. Thank you, Eric. Right, sorry about that. I managed to do something to it again, but we're back on again now. So there's just a couple that got missed out here. Mark Byrne, 1 day ago. Happy New Year, Andy. Your videos have been a highlight. I'm excited for more in 24. Keep up the fantastic work, and here's to another year of awesome content. Oh, Mark, that is amazing, that comment. Thank you very much. That's my mate Mark from Jersey. Believe it or not, he used to be my apprentice when we worked at Premier Marine Service, and he wants to buy an imp, which is quite worrying. But anyway, he's an interesting character, our Mark. He's quite what's the word for him? Flamboyant, yeah. Anyway, thanks Mark for that. Fascinating and wonderful lady. Brilliant work from Gavin Ansom. Yeah, brilliant lady. Absolutely amazing. Thanks again, Pat, for the interview. Chevy Imp, the Ian Carter trilogy, stunning. Thank you, Chevy Imp. Peter Wardle, great stuff. Ian did a cylinder head for me. I went to his unit in Horton Regis, valve guides, a little porting and some cords rings. That was in my clan. I was proud to have met him. Well, lucky you. I wish I could have met him. Obviously, before my time, really. I was a bit young, but yeah, I'm glad you remember him. He certainly left a legacy. Right, Peter Wardles, 572. Yes, that was probably 40 years ago. He helped me. I had little money having bought the clan, and the engine was shot. That rebuilt engine took me about another 12,000 miles. Then I put the new built 998 from Dutch Components. Dave Vanderflis, I think. I still have the 875 with Ian's head on it. He said, don't polish the ports, it will drink fuel. Leave his rough finish. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of the ports that we see 40 years down the line now, they're all about the rough finish. They don't believe in polishing them. Something to do with making the air go round the corners better. So that's very interesting. He was definitely ahead of his time. So another one from Martin. Excellent videos. Keep them coming in 24. You're very welcome. Now this is where we're up to when I just broke the screen. So that was Eric. Thank you. Steve Mason. This video is absolutely priceless. Thank you very much for your videos. Your dedication to continuous development of the imp engine is admirable and awesome. Wow. Thank you very much. That's a lovely comment. Thanks, Steve. Damo, Happy New Year, mate. That's my pal. Eric, thanks again. That's Eric Klaus. Thumbs up to you too. Ratchet, all you have to... Oh, hang on, we've replied to these. Oh, we must have gone backwards here. We've replied to all this. Right. I must admit, I find it... All right, this is one that got me. I must admit that it's from Sidecar Bod. I find it hard to imagine how the inlet valve can accelerate quicker off its seat than the cam wants it to accelerate. After all, the valve would rather stay still if it had its way. Well, it would do with 60 foot-pounders seat pressure behind it from the double spring, yeah. The forces involved should act against valve flow. The exhaust valve, on the other hand, might not keep up with the receding cam lobe, and therefore it could have floated. This would mean the exhaust valve is open more than the cam lobe. Oh my goodness gracious me. But for this reason, the piston valve needs to be more than the piston valve. Oh, this way I measured right. Well, I'm not going to go right into all that, but all I'll say is, as far as I was aware, the valve is in contact with the cam follower because the spring is, like you say, holding it against it. My point I was trying to make on the video was that because the piston dwells for so long over top dead center while the rod has got no angle on it, and the valve is obviously coming on lift, modern design valves are designed to, camshafts, sorry, are designed to open the valves real quick so we get good airspeed in the port and not like a big duration thing like the R23 we saw. But anyway, because the cam accelerates so quick, my concern is that the valve will chase the piston and catch up with it, not that it'll leave the seat and not be in contact with the valve. I'm not sure whether I've just got my wires crossed or you've got your wires crossed there, but anyway, no doubt you'll reply, and I'll try and have a read of that later to reply to you. Could you do, right, Christopher Cullen, could you do a voiceover when you're a dyno? It's hard to hear the results when it's working. Kit from Down Under. I could do, I do try and do a little bit. I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a simple person, and multitasking is not my strong point. Oh, look, you see, I've just read this now. That isn't where I want to be, is it? I need that back on there. Oh, no. Yeah, you see, trying to reply to you and scroll down is the maximum I can cope with. Oh, no, we're all... Right, excuse me. Right, sorry, we're back again. I've worked it out now. When the cursor goes over one of these, it clicks on that and only gives me the comments from that video. So I've got to stay in the middle with the cursor. So Christopher Cullen, could you do a voiceover? I will try to, Christopher, but as you can see, multitasking isn't my strong point. Oh, God, we've got a message from Bradbury. Michael Bradbury, the most hated man in the Hillman Imp Club. First off, where's Dougie? Mike, he's at school or something probably, but he can't come to the workshop because he's only 3. Secondly, great to see Bob the Ghost. Not quite sure what you mean by that comment. He's looking well. He is. He's doing very well. Thank you. But thirdly, what about the time you sorted that balancing job out? Catch up soon, soft lad. PS, decent video, didn't fall asleep. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Michael Bradbury is the chap who haunts the Hillman Imp Facebook page by putting the comment boiled at the bottom of every single person that makes a statement about their imp, and it doesn't go down very well, but he thinks he's funny because Michael's a bit of a wind-up merchant, although he is actually a sound guy. So yeah, fair play, Michael, thanks for that. I'll take the last comment, didn't fall asleep, that's a positive. Right, Les Johnson, my pal from Scotland, that's my engine and it's a 1040. Nope, you're wrong, it's not your engine. Stewie Matcher, might have been a nice little festive bonus if you could have played Jingle Bells with those cranks. Yeah, that's a good one, mate. Yeah, could have tried. I might try that, you know. I'll practice before I video it though. Paul Marison 8561, wishing you an STTV all the best for 2024. Sounds like a sexually transmitted disease, that, doesn't it? Well, thank you very much, Paul. That's brilliant. On unrelated note, this is Paul Whitman. Just saw your mate's BMW video. You touched upon your 907 project. This is something I really hope you can progress on, as it's my absolutely favourite engine. I do like a 907 Lotus engine too, Paul. I had one for my current project by Lotus Bits, but when you said yours might see 300 horsepower, my ears pricked up. Yeah, well, I do make a lot of noise, and yeah, we'll have to work on that. I will do a video on the Lotus engine at some point. Unfortunately, it's like most things in my life other than paying work, it's on hold. But I will get to it, and I'll do a video in the next month or so all about it, because it's something I do want to finish along with other things I've started. Right, thank you for that. Dart Barmy 6482, excellent. I want one. Oh, get on eBay and buy one because they're going up in price all the time. Right, Christopher Cullen, technically you are on the money, but the condition of your workshop is unbelievable. Rats, Kit from Down Under. Yeah, well, in Manchester, Kit, the two-legged rats are the ones you've got to worry about, not the four-legged ones. The four-legged ones you can deal with. So, yeah, it's it is something that I don't really need to be where I am. I could do with being on a farm somewhere, but for the time being, I can't really justify moving the workshop because it nearly broke me last time. So we'll have to stay where we are with the rats, and at least I won't be on my own anyway. Hermione, oh right, I can't say that. Granger 959251. Happy Christmas, Andy. Keep the videos coming. You're inspiring a whole new generation of engineers. Wonderful. Well, that's great. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Phil Dem 414. What do you think of twin SUs, V's bike carbs, V's Webbers? Well, I like SUs because they're a good carburettor, and if you've got the time to get the needle the right shape, they work really well on an imp. V's bike carbs again. I try and shy away because I lost quite a lot of time trying to make them work, and in the end they worked okay, but they weren't brilliant. The Webbers, because everybody else has developed them, I can just put them on and I roughly know what they're going to require before I even fire it up from the spec of the engine. So I really like the Webbers and the Lottos. I preferred the Lottos, but old school Webbers are just as good, I suppose. So yeah, SUs or Webbers, but for an imp to work, really, it needs single choke per cylinder and a wild camshaft, and then you can make use of the RPM then. Right, next question. Graham B1. Great content as always. It's obvious you really enjoy what you do, and the motivation of producing the videos is leading to even better detail. I really enjoy the way in which you start off on one subject and then get sidetracked. It's still all great content. Right. Yeah, that's because I've got so much to say, but I struggle to get it out, and then I start saying one thing and then just wander on to the next, and it's like, oh my God. And I watch the videos sometimes and just cringe, but you guys seem to like it, so I'll just keep on spewing them out. I will settle down eventually and not be so overexcited. I'll be more methodical. I should really get some paper with a list of what I'm talking about so I don't wander. Right, thanks for that. AKA Dark Speed. Difference between the manifolds confirms what I found on the flow bench. A stock CD125 manifold flowed 80 CFM at 28 inches. A banana flowed 106 CFM at 28 inches. With the runners opened up on my standard manifold, imp standard manifold, it gets 100 CFM at 28 inches. Well, yeah, that's really interesting because my mate Will, he was convinced that, well, I think we were both convinced that the Strombergs could be an inch and a quarter, so it's an inch, 25 mil plus 6 mil, so that's 31 mil wide open throttle aside, was going to be bigger than a little 28, 36 mil, downdraft car, but we couldn't get anywhere near the same torque out of it with the Strombergs, and so yeah, the log worked definitely. So yeah, confirmed your research, brilliant. And the stand, I've always liked a standard Solex. If anyone comes to me with a road car saying they want to run Strombergs, I try and push them into, obviously you've got to do what the customer wants, haven't you? But I do try and push them towards using a Solex carburettor with a standard manifold, because with the 24mm choke in them, the bigger choke, they just work a treat, and they don't go out of tune. They're a fixed jet carburettor, unlike the Stromberg. So you fit them, you dyno it, you set the fueling up, and then they go away and have good fuel economy, good spread of torque, and everyone's happy. Right, Howie RPM. Have a great Christmas, Andy, and all the very best wishes for 24. Thanks, and keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Howie. That's a nice little pat on the back for me there. I'll be getting a massive head. Right, Paul Offered Racing. Way back, I bought a 9.8 with a broken crank. While I was taking it out, the broken end sliced across my hand, and it had to be stitched up. Crikey, that would be inconvenient, wouldn't it, when you're trying to get your imp back together? Well, I hope you recovered okay. I suppose it can break and leave a really sharp edge. Got to be careful. Mike D6505. What about balancing the flywheel clutch cover front pulley? Right, I assume you're referring to my little small journaled offset ground crank and the other one that I balanced. I've already balanced the flywheel and clutch separately. Everything gets balanced separately, so I will be just putting them on. I mean, if it was a customer's, I'd probably insist on doing it again with the flywheel and clutch that we're going to use, but as it's just for me, I'm not too concerned. My main concern was the crank and getting the crankshaft right, so we didn't get any funny harmonic issues, but now the crank's okay. I know the flywheel's been done, and it is a little steel TTV one with a 5.5 inch clutch, so it's all very light and quite precise. It's not like a big old wandery thing. So yep, good point there, Mike. Mike Burns 7581, love my imp, and it's great to relive that with you. I've learned so much that I never appreciated when I owned it. Yep, brilliant. Well, the whole point of me doing all these videos, obviously there is some self-interest here, because I sell imp engines for a living, and the more of a support network the engines and the cars have got, the more people that will buy them and restore them and hopefully race them. So yeah, brilliant. Steve Kelly, very entertaining, owned a G15 years ago, wish I'd known you then. Yeah, well, we could have hopefully sorted you out of a engine. You can always buy another one and give me a ring, we'll sort you out. Right, Mike D. Andy, can you explain about cross-drill cranks and great content? Merry Christmas. Well, a cross-drill crank is something that tends to be done on crankshafts that run in race cars and things like that. And the reason they cross-drill them is not all bearings, main bearings, have 360 degrees of oil feed. So you might quite often see a groove in the top half of the bearing, and then in the part that sits in the bearing cap, it will be just a completely blank bearing. So the big end only receives oil flow for 180 degrees of rotation rather than 360 like the imp. So what they do is they cross drill the crank. So as one hole gets blocked by the plain bearing, the other one is then able to carry the oil to the big end. So that's why we cross drill the crankshafts. Merry Christmas, yes to you too. Hope that explains that. I'll do some more on that when I've got an engine I can show you. The Rover V8 could be a good example, because that's got holes that are masked by 180 degrees of rotation on the mains. Right, happy Christmas, Andy, to you and your family. Thanks for showing us your toys. You're very welcome. Happy Christmas to you too. White Monkey, no, this is nice. I do balancing of big fan runners. Many automotive guys balance but don't have any idea what G6.3 actually is. I'm sure many take good well balanced cranks and send them out of balance. Well, that's interesting, because Bob always says to me, he says the imp cranks, if they've not been ground and they're just basically standard, he said they're pretty good as standard. Not an awful lot wrong with them. In other words, the person that was balancing them for a living 24/7 in that factory back in 1968 or whatever, or 63, through till 74, they did a good job of balancing them, really good job. And yeah, his machine is obviously a very high spec one, so we just get the fine bits trimmed off, to be honest. Right, Richard Tweedle, all the best, Andy. Have a brill family time. Recharge the old batteries. Yeah, we had a lovely time. Thank you very much. We plenty of time off over Christmas, so no production, but we'll get stuck in January. Right, Keith Graham 8906. Interesting video. Keep up the work. Merry Christmas to you too. Thanking you. Steve Mason, happy Christmas, Andy. Hope you and the family have a great time. Thanks for all the hard work you put into the videos. You're very welcome. I've enjoyed it too. All the best to you and your family, Andy. Rewarding, peaceful New Year. Thank you very much, Richard. Right, I hope that avatars. I hope that engine works. Very nice to see all the secrets shown. Oh no, we don't show any secrets. We only show you what we want to show you. We do a little bit, but don't go into some of the things that have been really hard learned. You've got to keep them to yourself, because I know there's a lot of engine builders probably just drop onto here and see what we're up to. So you seem to have an unhealthy liking for CVH though. Isn't that the worst engine Ford ever made? Well, you know what, I was around when the CVH first came. Well, I passed my test in like 96 or something, so all the Escorts had CVHs in them. And yeah, compared to the Pinto and the Crossflow, the CVH didn't seem quite as robust, probably down to that stupid snout they gave, like a hoover in the bottom of the sump for picking up the oil. It used to block up, didn't it? And then they'd knock out the bottom end and all sorts of other problems with cam followers. But I'll be honest, I do have a soft spot for the CVH, and it is a good engine. You can get good power from them. You know, the ports aren't bad. You've got to be able to make them do the RPM. I think all the wins are in the valve train. If you can get the valve train to work and put like a 2 litre Z-Tech bottom end under one, I reckon you could see 200 horsepower out of one, no problem. Anyway, Eric Klaus, got some more thumbs up from Eric. Tony Hansen, Andy, wishing you and your family a great Christmas. Yeah, brilliant, thank you, same to you. Paul Whitman, hey, yay, you too, Andy, have a great Christmas and Christmas holiday, looking forward to see progress on your toy. Yeah, me too, thank you. Eric again, thank you. Have you ever thought about custom crankcase and crank to make the Hillman a V8? Well, Gary, Sweetland 32, it just so happens that many years ago I did chop a crankcase up and I did try and graft a V8 lump together, and I even made mains caps for the crankshaft and widened the journals on the Ian Carter crank setup thing, and I had it ground as well. I've got loads. In fact, I'll do a video on it. I just haven't got any further because unfortunately work has to go out the door, and it sort of stops me from fulfilling my dreams and my projects. But that's not forever. It will get easier as time goes by. So thanks very much for that. Yep, I'll sort that. Nathan Bedu, that's my pal from Jersey. Merry Christmas, Andy. Merry Christmas to you, Nathan, and all the best for 24. Look forward to seeing you rallying your Escort. This is my pal Jersey Tim, who races rallies the BMW. Very interesting as always. It'd be great to see you build your own engine block with one from one engine and Fred from another with motorbike pistons. Yeah, I would love to build that as well, pal. Alan Scott, this is my pal with the little Midas. Oh, not Midas, it's a mini Gemma thing. Once again, Andy, great video. Must say, look forward to Sunday evenings. Oh, that's great. Thanks, nice to hear that, Alan. Look forward to seeing you next year. Mike Owen, thanks for another great video. Love the small tips you give. Very welcome. Anything to help the Hillman crew. I won't read that out. Some Kuntor. It might be foreign and totally innocent, but I'm not going to take the risk. In the 80s, used to work on night shift for a machine tool company jig boring on GSIP. We used to do foreigners quite often. One job I did was skimming the head on an imp that was used in a sidecar racer. It had dropped a valve and the head had been welded. I had to machine off what were the wheels ring grooves in the head after skimming. Was this a thing back in the day, or was it a one-off? No, because of the wet liner setup, everything was wheel stringed. It's the only way you could make it hold the cylinder charge, really. So it's just because it's on a dry liner, a wet liner in an old school block that's made out of aluminium with a high coefficient of expansion. You had to keep a way of keeping the preload on the fire ring, so they use wheel strings. Very interesting. Right, Michael Bradbury. Oh, I'm nervous. I've got a load of quality high build primer here out of the tin. Looks miles better than brush painting. Well, thank you for that, Michael. Nearly fell asleep. Can we get into space frames, please? Where's Dougie? Okay, mate, I'll do my best. So you want Dougie in space frames. Right, PJ Imp 1040, another interesting ramble, thanking you. Ed Albagam. I don't know anything about imps as I'm more of a Ford guy, but I enjoy watching and machining, and you share knowledge about tuning. Thanks a lot, and Merry Christmas from Sweden. Merry Christmas to you too. Yeah, we have got lots of Ford engines around. I'm a bit of a Ford nut as well, so maybe we'll get onto the Fords at some point. Right, great vid again. Good news, you're busy. It pays the bills. Well, I have to say, Steve, the YouTube has made me busier, so I'm very grateful for that. Interesting, this is Jim. I had a 76 Caledonian with an oil drain head and loads of other good bits of standard. What a delight. First I put Q-press points in it on the stub of a 3.2mm twist drill, shaft jammed into the 45D base plate to help it rev, and then later electronic ignition. With electronic ignition it was easily rev to 8,000 for overtakes. Oh, lovely. I remember giving my boss a lift to the garage to pick up his car. He was a Leyland engine, oh my word, chief engineer, and he couldn't believe his eyes when he said the needle swinging around to 8,000. Loved SU carbs, so robust and reliable. Stromberg's people would rant about the accuracy, but couldn't be accurate if it wasn't working. For SU, you need needle charts. Yep, I've not got any of those. I could do with some. There used to be a popular book that had about 80% of them listed in the back. If you identify the spot where you have a problem, then you need to check for weak or rich, and then find the piston position. Adjusting the jet up and down will tell you whether it's weak or rich. Dividers can use and measure the height. Yeah, I'll tell you what I do. I go on the dyno and I hold it wide open with an SU on, with an SU carburettor, and then what I do is I have a piece of card and I slowly start to cover the backs of the carburetors where the air goes in at different points, and that obviously makes it draw more fuel through the jet. And I watch the torque, and if the torque goes up, then I know it wants fuel, and if it doesn't, I know it doesn't want the fuel. And then I look at the piston height, mark it, and then we just polish the needles, but it takes forever and you could easily go too far and scrap the whole thing. That's why I prefer Weber's. Right, Chevy Imp, perfect Imp ramble chat. Thanks very much for putting these videos out. You're very welcome. Tim Morgan, sounds proper old school when with that Jan speed. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it was good that. Thanks, Tim. Lotusy Clan, great stuff again, Andy. That's my mate. Mr. Pete Richardson, the Clan Racer. Paul Whiteman, love your show, Andy. It's icing on the weekend cake. Oh wow, that's awesome. Glad you enjoy it. Richard Halliday, great content as usual. Thank you. Right, more thumbs up from Eric Klaus. Sunday evening show with Andy the host. Yep, that's me. Try my best. Stuart Burgess, pop a link to the grinder might be worth a punt. I've not done that yet. Great show. Marmite Alpha is great on the gas. Yeah, he loves it on the LPG. That was his little treat for selling his Alpha. That he's selling his TR7 lookalike thing. He managed to get £100,000 for somehow. God knows how. Anyway, yep. Right, NMC356. Glad to learn about the oiling system and correct filters. That lesson could save me thousands. Yeah, well, the oil system's good as standard. Anything we do to change it is potentially dangerous. Thanks for that, Graham Cronson. ZZZ, laugh. How does anyone find it? Oh, Graham Cronson, yeah, no, he's a good guy, isn't he? Mr. Graham bringing an engine to me, I believe, in the new year for dynoing. Steve Mason, your garage looks like mine, full. You mean a mess? Anyway, hoarding pays off, as you found out in the latest video when I found the 998 pistons and managed to use them. They've been loafing around for about 10 years. Right, Benjamin Benson. Love the channel, Andy. I take my little girl up to Hednesford to watch the stocks and hot rods. Always a great night out. I couldn't agree more with you. I love going to Hednesford as well. And I think I'm going to take Russell on the 12th to, not the 12th, it's the 14th, it's beginning of January to Civil War, which is the big banger meeting, because he's been mithering because we've had no stockhouse to go and watch. So yeah, it's a great family day out. Don't be shy about adding more safety to the cage. This is Adam Earsley. Yes, you're absolutely right. We will be making it safe. We don't want to be getting hurt if we're going to drive it hard. Damo 1061. Some motors at Lancia. I didn't enter your competition because my Series 1 RS Turbo I bought from you in 1988, was it? Would have won hands down. Yeah, that was a Grand RS Turbo, Damien. It's a shame that you ploughed it into the back of parked cars at the traffic lights, but never mind, we can't have everything in life. One day I'll maybe buy another one if I can make any money. Lancia, yeah, right, Jerry. Lancia used to make beautiful cars. Whatever happened? Well, that was like a 90s blunder, wasn't it? Well, like that Scorpio and all the things that came out then, which were just plain ugly. Maybe they asked the computer to design it or something. Right, Paul Whitman, your container looks chocker. They say SH1T expands to fill the space provided. Yeah, well, as you probably guessed from now, I don't like throwing things out in case you find a second use for them. The problem is I can't find anything that I've saved now, so it might as well be thrown out. So yeah, hoarding doesn't always pay, but I will try and clean up my act in years to come, so it's not someone else's problem one day. Right, Mark DW, just woke up at the end of the video. Did I win? Good one, Mark. Yeah, I don't think you did. Avatars, gutted I didn't win t-shirt, but I'm a 3XL anyway. Space frame looks really good. Yeah, well, if you want a t-shirt, come along to Race Retro on the 24th of February that weekend. I'm there from the Thursday night to the Sunday night, so I'll do a video about it anyway. We're going to have a stand indoors, so come and see us and buy a t-shirt and we'll sort you out. Right, Graham B1, great videos as always. Love the content and congratulations to the winners. 917 was an air-cooled, flat turbo, twin turbo, flat 12. Oh wow, so it was like two 911s screwed together. I didn't realise. The Porsche 917 mentioned at 10 minutes and 32 seconds was naturally aspirated flat 12 Le Mans winner. The later 917-10 and 917-30 Can-Am cars had the turbos. even better sound than the turbo. I bet the normally aspirated one sounded best, so thanks for that. Some experts out there. Mike Byrne, learn something every video. Thanks, Andy. Well, you're very welcome, Mike. I learn something every day, so yeah, we never stop learning. And if you think you know it all, that's when you're at your most dangerous point in your life. Right, brilliant explanation on the oil filter. Can't wait for the Honda piston. No, I can't wait for the Honda piston engine either. Thank you, pimp. Christian Johnson, the reading on the dyno is very difficult to see on the screen. Write it down on paper to show us. I don't really want to get that involved, Christian, but thank you very much anyway. We just keep the things rough because the dyno isn't corrected, so it's not really fair to start saying this has got that much horsepower when really it probably hasn't. It's probably a rough indication of where we're at with the engine. Right, so tomorrow too, brilliant video again. Thank you, Damo. Gosh, Damo's replying. He's mentioning everywhere. Is there anything that lathe tool can't do, mate? I do like that radius tool. It does everything. You're right. It's a bloody good tool. That. Yeah. I have got other tools, but I do like using that one. Right, Graham Crompton, 1978. The 1040 and dyno saying epic. Great video. Amazing how the bite rods and pistons fit so well now. Offsetting the journal was a stroke of genius. It looks like it could have be a potential weak area being so much smaller than the original imp spec. Less material joining the crank. What do you think, Andy? Hope it holds. Well, Graham, I hope it holds too. It's got two things in its favour. Cranky Ken's put a lovely radius in the corner, so there's no stress points there. The other thing is the piston and rod mass is considerably lighter, nearly a third lighter than the original imp setup. So I'm hoping that the lack of weight that's got to change direction, not that I've done any calculating whatsoever, will mean that the crankshaft doesn't have as much stress on it as it would have done with a heavier setup. So even though it's a smaller journal, like we have turned it down, it'll still be strong enough to cope. And yes, it was a stroke of genius for one of the commenters who made the comment, why don't you use the offset machine to make the stroke up so the piston gets to the top, so we end up with 1120cc. Absolutely brilliant. I can't believe I didn't think of it, so thanks again to that person. And thanks for Graham for the question. Alex Jenner, was that a drop off oil I saw there? Looking forward to seeing you on the 1120 imp engine. I hope not. I'll have to check that out. I thought it was dry when we did the video. Lotus C Clan, this is my pal, and it's Richard. It's Pete Richards. Hi Andy, great content again. If you fit oil temperature senders to imps, I fit the smaller 1/8 MPT types. You might consider tapping the top of the triangular output chamber on the filter block, the one that takes filtered oil to the main gallery. This position gives you a true reading of gallery oil temp, post cooler and post filter. I use a coolant heat exchanger Range Rover Sport, mounted on the timing cover studs for the standard. Yep, this gallery. Yep. 15, rapid. Another sensor, trying to fast forward this in my head. Shows much. Hang on. This pre-gallery position shows oil temps near to coolant temp on the road with plus 10 to 15 degrees when pushed. Oil warmth is rapid. Yes, well it will, because it's using the water to heat the oil as well as cool it. Another sensor in the sump shows much cooler oil normally. Both sensors are read from one gauge using changeover relay. I'd post a pic, but I can't keep up. Keep up the great content. Right, Pete, you've got me here because all the temperature stuff I've ever done, measuring it where the oil goes into the engine, like you say on the oil filter housing, I've had a steady sort of 85 degrees on a 60 degrees water temperature. So 60 oil, 85 oil, 60 water, 85 oil. And then I've had close to 100 on the sump plug, because that's the temperature of the oil after it's come out of the engine, as in after it's taken the heat out of the bearings and lubricated the crankshaft, etc. So that's interesting that you found yours cooler in the sump. I mean, all I can think is that the oil wasn't moving around near where you took the measurement from. On the sump plug of my imp, I used to see 100 degrees, but yet the actual oil going into the engine never got past 85. Anyway, well, maybe we'll have a little talk about that when we catch up next time. Thanks for your comment. Steve Mason, my Sunday night must watch never disappoints. Thanks again, great vid. Welcome. Hill Bill, Chill Bill. Imp engine sounded lovely. That's my mate with the Shedot Customs, Paul. Thanks, Paul. Martin, as always, very interesting content. Love to see my imp unit with in my Austin 7 special one day. I can't think of a better engine to put in an Austin 7. It'd absolutely fly. Wilkie's put mint, thanks Milky, nice one again. I'm starting to really want an imp, need to sell my Mini. Well, that's great, you've got two options. You can put an imp engine on a Mini gearbox, or you can buy an imp, but that's great. And then we've got Eric has put his thumbs up again, thank you Eric. And then we've got Benjamin Benson, she's bloody lively, Andy. Keeping the modern stuff honest as well as so happy days, just found your channel and love it, keep up the good work. Oh great, I'm glad you enjoyed watching me Kahuma on Alton Park. I enjoyed it very much. Who's this? Caden Pollard. I'll be at the Curry Cottage. Love the content, mate. For all your viewers, been a great family here, teenage years, legend, very clever guy, but just one of the lads, and one of his many close friends. I can't speak high enough of him. Who are we talking about here? Love the content, mate. Friends with Andy since... Oh, you're talking about me? Caden Pollard. I've not even got a clue who you are, pal. Well, that's very nice. But, yeah. I'd be really interested if you can identify yourself. And thanks for the kind words. Graham Crompton, great video. Love seeing imp engines on the dyno, and really look forward to seeing the bike piston engine running and giving good results. Right, I am going to have to call it a day here because I'm up to 29 minutes of waffle, and if you're still awake, well, I've only got half an hour storage on my phone and it gets a wobble on, so I'll have to wrap it up here, and we may have to come back to doing these. We'll see how successful this is as a video, and maybe we'll come back and do some more. Right, okay chaps, I've done a fair bit of replying to comments there. I hope you've enjoyed doing something different with me there. And I'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday when we get back to the engineering. Have a good week. Bye for now.